Hi guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is so crazy. I feel like I've practiced that line a million times, but this one's it. This one is going on YouTube. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to document my life going forward because so much is going on, and I feel like honestly, this is for my personal development. No one can watch this, I don't care, but at the same time, like it'd be nice to share this experience because there are not a lot of people that do this. I have been going crazy online, on Reddit, on YouTube in general, just like people that quit their jobs without anything lined up, and it's not as common for obvious reasons, like especially in this economy, like I don't know, but yeah, there's not a lot of people, so I figured why not share this experience and hopefully help someone, motivate someone to do something that they actually think is right for them, but also just to like document my personal journey because I'm very curious to see how the next 2-3 months go with no job, nothing to report to in the morning and do necessarily. I have stuff to do. Finding a job is my job. But yeah, so I wanted to jump right in and talk about why I kind of quit my job, or I guess my background, I should start there. I'm an accountant. I have been in the industry for about like 5 years, and my primary focus is tax. I was at Big Four for 2 years, then I went to fund admin for 3 years, and then I moved back to my hometown in Pennsylvania, and I joined a small local CPA firm. That is the job that I recently quit. I don't want to trash talk them at all because that's just unnecessary. So I'll just go ahead and say that honestly, it was just not the right fit for me. I was not vibing with like the environment, the culture, just my boss in general. It was just not the right fit. And at that job, I, got hired as an auditor and someone that works on individual taxes, which both are new because I only worked on hedge funds and private equity before that. So this was brand new to me. I was there for about 9 months and I hated it. I really was so miserable. And this is part of the reason why I think I'm just so happy now because I let go of something that was just no longer serving me. And I'm so, so, so happy. But yeah, I was there for about 9 months before I quit. Zero regrets quitting at all. Because it was just bad. I was really waking up at 8 a.m. to go to this job when before this I was remote. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I hated waking up at 8 a.m. It was just, well, 6 a.m. 6 to 6:30 a.m. to be there by 8. And that is just not the vibe. I actually don't even know what I was thinking, honestly. Like I questioned myself because I was like, where did I think that that was a good idea? I don't know. That's definitely on the list of things not to, my non-negotiables going forward. Like I think 9 to 5 is doable, but 8 and then to stay till 5 sometimes during busy season 6, 7, like that's in the grand scheme, I guess, coming from like public accounting is not that crazy. I did do the public accounting hours, working literally like 9 to 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. and then doing that Saturdays and Sundays as well. But that was when I was like 21, 22 years old and I was living in New York City, loving life. And, I had, honestly, it's so cliche to say, but like at EY, the people were really freaking great. Like I met some of my best friends that job and I loved that job. So I think it was a little bit more bearable other than the fact that the work sucked and like the hours got to me eventually, but the people were great. So it was doable. So I wouldn't even say like that the hours are what made me want to quit my last job. It was just the environment more so. Like I hated everyone I worked with was like super super old. No offense to old people, but they were really old. There was no one there that was young, and that should have been a red flag. Again, I went wanting to try audit because that was kind of like my last straw. I was like, if I don't like audit, this is like giving myself the benefit of the doubt, like making sure like you 100% are ticking off like every aspect of accounting before you quit. And it just wasn't it. So I'm happy I left. And yeah, it wasn't necessarily for the hours, but the hours did suck. Like 8 a.m. is not it. It's not my speed. So now I'm waking up still at freaking 6:30 a.m. because now it's just part of my body and I just naturally wake up at that time. So I do laugh because I'm just like, well, great. I tried to sleep in and I think I woke up at 8 and I was just like, success, yes. um but yeah, so I think part of the reason I wanted to get on here was just to talk about like what made me want to, or things that I guess are necessary. How do I explain this? I guess like I wanted to talk about what made me feel more comfortable quitting my job. And obviously the number one big thing is finances. Like without your finances in order, why are you quitting your job? It just doesn't make sense. Um, sorry, excuse me. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody to do if they didn't have their finances in order. If you didn't have a safety net, I guess is the biggest thing. If you don't know where your next, rent or mortgage payment is going to come from, do not quit your job. Um, it's just not smart. I think naturally as an accountant, I already had my budget. I'm so sorry. I think naturally as an accountant, I had my budget already set. So I was looking at the numbers and I was like, I can do this. It's a little bit risky and, it's not ideal, especially in this economy. I think I'm very frugal and I do think that like saving and putting money aside to me is like number one priority. But I also think I'm young. I have 0 kids. I do not have a house or a mortgage, which is so crazy. Because just last year, or just like the beginning of last year, I was looking for a house. I even put in a couple of offers, didn't get them, and I kind of got a little discouraged. And I was like, why isn't this working out? Like, what's going on? I stopped looking, ultimately ended up renting because it's just like something in me was kind of telling me, like, this isn't the right time. And all within good reason because look what is happening now. And I'm so proud that I'm listening to myself these days. And I'm noticing how much like I'm trusting myself and things are working out. So I'm just kind of using that mentality with everything that's going forward, just with everything that's going on and hopefully just like trusting myself and staying positive. But I think about that and I'm just like, that's so crazy. Like, I really didn't get obviously, the market is not ideal right now. So, like, that's happening to a lot of people. But the fact that I stopped says something. And yeah, so I think about that and I'm like, okay, it's just the right time. Also, which is crazy, I participated in like no spend January. I have like 0 credit card debt. I have, no crazy expenses. So I was like, this just all feels and seems so right. Like, if there's a time to do it, it's now. Like I said, I have 0 kids, 0 responsibilities, real responsibilities at least. And like, why not try to figure out something that I can do that is going to make me happier now rather than waiting until I'm like 35 and then stuck in, a life with kids and stuff that makes it a lot harder for you to transition into a different career or just quit your job. So I'm very like aware of all of those things right now and I'm just taking a leap of faith, taking a little risk. But yeah, I wanted to say like overall I think there's going to be a lot of things that change or just growth that's going to happen within the next 2-3 months, especially like mentally. I think and I don't know if this is just like the accounting world or if it's just my anxiety, but like I have really bad anxiety and mentally like accounting is not a job. I'm considered a very like highly like functioning anxious person. I feel like there's a better way of saying that, but I consider myself one of those people. And now I'm always like stressed, always, high on anxiety. And I function that way. But I would really like to give myself like time to breathe, to calm down, to really like, I don't know, create a routine that's going to make me a better person and create this life for myself that is no longer like, I don't want that to be my story. So I want to change. And I'm hoping that within the next 2-3 months, that's my story. And I wanted to share it with everyone. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. So this is all brand new. And I think, there's going to be a lot of days where I'm just like, what the fuck do I do now? Because I've just applied for like 4 hours to jobs. But yeah, I wanted to bring you guys along and let you guys know that it is possible. If you guys want to quit your job, it's like not, if you have your finances in order, like I said, like it is possible. If you're really unhappy and don't have like real responsibilities, I guess, why not now than, rather than being stuck in a life that you're unhappy with. It's actually kind of crazy. Everyone that I have told so far that I quit my job without a backup, their number one response is, oh my God, I'm so jealous. Like, you really got me thinking, girl. I'm not happy, like, at my job either. I should quit too. But they're complacent and they're so comfortable and they're never going to leave. And I'm just like, I don't know. It just literally validated me a little bit more. It was just like, I don't want to be that person. And I don't know if it's all like the podcast I listen to and all of like the self help books, but it's funny because I was just listening to Matthew McConaughey. He was on the Lex Friedman podcast, and he was just talking about how his mother just kind of disassociates a little bit and just basically like forgets things, like if they no longer serve her. And it's like I don't know, I didn't listen to everything in detail, but I think just a gist of it was like she had past relationships and they died, like her partner died. I think his dad died and she moved on, and it's not like she just like forgot completely, but she tries to like put it aside. Like she's not gonna make it her life. Like, and that's just part of life. So I think like I'm not gonna go into like, the world thinking like I'm just gonna forget everything, because I think I've learned so many things within the accounting industry in my previous jobs, but it would be nice to kind of put them aside and just like give myself room and space to like say like that doesn't have to be my story. I am happy that I, went through there, and I'm proud of the things that I was able to receive from that job, like, money and just the life that I've been able to live through like having the flexibilities of those jobs. But it doesn't have to be my story. There's other things out there. It doesn't have to be everything to me. And I can move on and I can focus on another career if I wanted to. And so, yeah, it's all about like being positive and I guess speaking it into existence and putting it out into this world that you want something different for you. And my biggest thing, I've actually been telling myself this a lot, and I've just already said it like 100 times, but it doesn't have to be your story. You are in control of like what you want to happen in your life. So I hope that this motivates you a little bit. And I do want to speak more about it, I think, as like, the days go on and like as I'm realizing things. So I don't know what I'm going to speak about next, but that's just what I'm thinking today. And I feel like I haven't heard many people say all of these things um with what I've been researching. Like Reddit is so funny. Reddit is just like, nah, you're gonna quit your job and be unhappy and worried and all that, but then you're just gonna quit and do that kind of at home because you don't have a job and you're gonna be looking for a job and you're gonna be worried about your income and etc. And I'm just like, it's I hear everything, and I'm just trying to like kind of take pieces of what I want to believe in and what I want to apply to meet my life and go that way. So I wanted to share it with you guys. So yeah, this is my first video. I hope you guys found it a little bit inspiring. I'm by no means any expert in anything. This is just me documenting again my journey, my experience, and hopefully, it goes somewhere or not. I don't know. But thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you at the next video.